You're watching the Rollerson Broadcasting Network. This show is brought to you by
Hi, I'm Chris Payne. I'm a board member and PR chair of the MLK Commemorative Society, here to talk tonight about the Martin Luther King Parade in Tulsa on Monday, January 17th. And with me is Kathy Carter.
Hi, I'm Kathy Carter, and I am actually the treasurer for the Martin Luther King Commemoration Society. But I've been doing this for, I don't know, like 10 plus years. So I've done just a little bit of everything that goes on. Right now, I'm hip deep in parade planning and making sure that everything is ready to roll and everybody has a good time when we have the parade.
Well, I think Kathy, I think we're definitely ready for this parade to get going. This year is the 43rd annual event, and Tulsa has always been a very supportive community. We have probably one of the biggest MLK parades in the country. This year, our theme is Hope and Action, the Fierce Urgency of Now. We thought this was really appropriate because, we are living in a time when Dr. King's message probably resonates even better today than it did when he first uttered the words. But I know Fierce Urgency of Now actually came out of a speech that Dr. King delivered, and we just couldn't think of anything more appropriate.
And I agree with that. And that, it was almost 60 years ago now that we had that rally in Washington that he led. And that was where that speech was made. And at the time he was talking about, we've been talking about these issues, and now here it is, 2022. Some of those same issues that Dr. King cared so much about continue to happen. And unless we can all step up and start taking advantage of the things that are changing and elevating the things that are going on in our country and adopting that sense of urgency to try to get things fair and equitable. And it's good, it's heartening that things are happening, but just like Dr. King said, it's the fierce urgency of now. And the parade, I think, is an excellent way for folks. I mean, there are over 10,000 people that are going to be out there hearing the message in one way or the other, along with having a good time, meeting people that have the same sense of urgency as they do, having that opportunity for the community to come together. And so I think
there will be people of all colors there. I think everyone will see the diversity and love it. There are so many of us that we really are worn out by what we see, and the change really is time for now to make that change. So you'll see a lot of supporters of Dr. King's message, and I know many of us are ready for things to change, and we hope we can make that happen, which is a great reason to get together for this parade. It will be very celebratory. We've got over 100 floats. I know people are probably a little bit concerned. We've got the Omicron variant that now is in full effect. We are still planning on having the parade. The good thing is we are outdoors. And I think that is going to provide a little bit of comfort to people. But, we would ask people, if you're going to feel more comfortable, mask up, try to keep your distance. But we are going to try to go forward with the parade as normal.
And it will be. I mean, that last year we had to cut back. We had COVID measures in place. There weren't any marchers. Everybody had to stay in their vehicles. It was very much contained. And a lot of the joy that we're getting to that we're going to be able to join together again. Yes, we do have to worry and be cautious. Remember, wash your hands, watch your distance, and wear a mask. Remember those rules, and just be careful. But like Chris said, it's going to be outside, and it's safer to be outside whenever you're around a lot of people. And the check-in, we're going to make it so that you don't even have to walk inside the tent to do that. We're going to have our hospitality tent again this year, but we are going to watch and make sure that we don't get too crowded and have folks to move out if they can't distance from one another. So we are planning and taking measures, but it's sort of like, the halfway to getting better again time that we're going to be having this time. But if you want to come out with your family and watch, the thing to do is just to find a nice safe spot, and they will come to you. The floats and the entries and the marchers and the dancers and the singers will all come to you, and you'll be in your safe spot.
And I do think we probably do need to mention, Kathy, that there is an option if you don't feel comfortable coming out in person. We help people. We'll watch the parade live on Channel 8. Channel 8 is an official media sponsor with the Martin Luther King Commemoration Society. So people can tune in at 11 o'clock. The parade will be on televised live. And, it's fun, it's entertaining, but we do hope people will come out in person as well. But we do have various options, and people can do whatever makes them feel the safest.
Yes, and it's fun to watch it on television too, because not only do you get to see the floats going by, then you also hear the commentators' comments. They describe what it is and what they did to put it together and so forth, so that you actually learn about how it got put together too, instead of just watching.
Well, it is always a good time. I enjoy it every year. And of course, we have many sponsors that are repeat participants just almost every year. So many great organizations that are there on hand to be supportive of Dr. King's message, and a really great positive message for our community. Now, we do, as far as sponsorships, we have wrapped that up. And as far as participants in the parade, but we are very much still looking for volunteers. We would encourage you to go to mlktulsa.com. If you visit our website, you can go out and see the various volunteer opportunities that are available. Kathy, if you just even want to talk a little bit about what some of those opportunities are. I mean, I'm sure you've got a great feel for what's needed.
Well, if you can imagine what the parade grounds look like, and there's 127 entries, and we'll be on about every area of about 3 or 4 blocks. So the distance of things that have to go on, and we're asking our participants to stay in their vehicle or near where their place is in line. But we need lots of runners. So by runners, I don't mean you literally have to run, but if we need to get a message from our command tent out to the vehicle to make sure that people don't start to congregate somewhere, definitely need people to come out and help us to get that information to them. So and the other thing that we'll be asking people to do is to help us keep the route moving, because sometimes people will tend to stop. They see their friends and they want to stop, or they see, a group that they want to perform in front of. And so we have people who follow the route the whole way to keep people moving, because if there gets to be large gaps or it gets backed up, then the flow just stops. So if we could get people to come out and help on the route, that would be great. And so those are the primary things, but there are just a ton of things that we have to do. And all of those, as Chris said, you can read about them on our website, and there's a place to sign up for whatever it is that you're interested in doing. So
and it's really fun. And of course, we never know what the weather is going to be. I've been out on really beautiful sunny days, and we've had other times when the weather is a little bit more unpredictable, but it is always a really great time. And you always appreciate the effort that the various companies and participants put into into their floats. It really just is a great time.
Well, you know what I say, Chris, is that there's no bad weather. There's just the wrong clothes. So every
Well,
year.
that's true. I know I'm going to be watching the weather that morning because I've got a bad history of picking the wrong stuff to wear. So we'll keep an eye on
Well,
that. Now, I do know one other thing that has come up, and the city has kind of forewarned us is to look out for some possible road construction that's down near the construction of the new building that's down there, but it's located south of the parade route. We just would encourage you to look out for construction and avoid that area as much as possible.
and it's also a good idea to know when the street closures are and and know which route that you can get to it. And all of that's available on our website. There is one street, Main Street is always open and you can walk a little ways from there if it's the way that you want to come in. They don't block that one, but they do close down the main area close to the parade. So plan your trip in advance. Make sure that you can find a place to park and not have to walk too far.
And definitely get there early. Now the parade actually starts at 11, but we've got cars and parade participants lining up early because there is judging of the floats and things that takes place. So if you're a participant, we've contacted you directly with that information, and there are specific places for you to line up, and you'll want to be there early. But the parade itself actually starts at 11. So if you're going to be a spectator, I would still get there a little early.
Yes, and that's because if you get a street that's blocked for whatever reason, you can figure out how to get around it and get to a place that you can get through. And so if you come out, especially, if you just walk around and look at the floats while they're parked, you can walk up and take a look to see what they look like and what folks are there and so forth. And that's almost as fun as watching them go by on the parade route.
Well, absolutely. Absolutely. Really, there's about a week of activities that take place leading up to the parade. So it's not just a single event. We're having one event that's called the Dream Out Loud Career Strategies for Student Success. We have another one called the Keeping It Real Student Leadership Forum that we do annually. This year it's moving to a virtual environment, but it is aimed at high school students that trying to instill in them some leadership strategies and some ways to make Dr. King's message come to life. And then we're going to have an awards ceremony for students that entered all of our various student contests. So there are a lot of different opportunities. If you go to the mlktulsa.com website, there's a calendar that is full of opportunities. And I just encourage people to go out and look at that. And, there are some things, like Sunday evening before the parade, there's the Walk in Peace event, and there's the Interfaith Community Commemorative Service that is Sunday night the 16th at 6 p.m. All kinds of opportunities for people to connect and really help us elevate this message and get people pumped up. And I think people are going to definitely have a great time. Kathy, is there anything else that you can think of that that we've forgotten to mention?
Well, there's just so much, Chris. Just so much for folks to get out and celebrate with. And I think we've covered it all. But again, the website's the place to go. And if Chris and I forgot it, you'll find it there.
All right. Well, otherwise, we do hope if you're interested in volunteer opportunities, please check those out. It is not too late. We would love to have your involvement, and we'd love to have your involvement if you're ever interested in joining our group. We're very passionate about Dr. King's message and would love to have more help. So please join us, and please come out for the parade. Monday, January 17th, 11 a.m. is when it kicks off. And even if you just want to sit at home and watch on Channel 8, please join us. We would love to have you participate. So thank you. Thanks for joining us. And Kathy, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Chris. And thanks, Leon Rollerson, for sponsoring us today.
Thank you.
You're watching the Rollerson Broadcasting Network. This show is brought to you by
a friend of the family, and like I said, one of our board members. So since he's no longer with us, we're going to bring him back to you so you can hear what he's had to say and how well he said it. Mr. Robert Mays.
On Rollerson Show, I'm here with two great people, and I tell you what, I can just identify them, and I can just get up and walk away, and one of them can talk for the rest of the 30 minutes of the show time and the whole bit. But I'd like to introduce you to the Mazes, Mr. and Mrs. Mays, and for those that went to Booker T back in the 60s, like I did, you would know Mr. Mays and all of his teachings and wonderful things that he did, and you will always know that let it be a lesson that sometimes having a good woman by your side is a very wonderful thing, because this is what has happened in this case. 47 years of marriage, is that right?
47, going into our 48th year.
You didn't know I knew that, did you?
No.
Yeah, I keep track of you. Yeah. I keep track of 47 years of marriage. And it's always such a pleasure to have, this thing about teamwork. It's always nice. So when people see you two together, they think of teamwork. It's like people used to enjoy Gunsmoke because it was a family. They weren't necessarily blood family, but they were family. But they were together. Right. I mean, they were. We're going to fight this war together. And when you watch Bonanza, the same thing, and so many other shows on television. Well, that's what they think of when they think of you two. They think of unity.
Well, thank you for that.
And that's above awesome. And I just want to make sure I say that right now and get that out of the way. Welcome to our show.
Well, we're glad to be here.
Thank you so much for inviting us.
We are going to talk today, which we can cover a lot of subjects. We could probably just sit here and have a 7-Up or whatever and just talk about all kinds of things, but we're going to take it one step at a time. This particular segment, we're going to talk about the Ebony Bowl, the Robert Mays Ebony Bowl. Can we do that?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
This Ebony Bowl is an event that involves middle school students,
Right.
approximately 12 to 14 schools, right?
Yeah, we had what?
15.
15 this year.
15 this year. And you give them a series of questions, and they study these questions, and then they come together and they answer the questions during a bowl, and then the final two battle it out between each other. And that's kind of a rough idea. I'm going to let you explain what the Ebony Bowl is. I just want to kind of give people kind of a lead in as to what the Kappas are doing to inspire Tulsa and the youth of today. And they're following in the Alpha's footsteps. And we came up with the bowl first, and you guys stole it.
When did we steal it?
No, I'm not going to go against him. I don't think
Okay,
so.
it didn't happen that way, right?
No, it didn't.
Okay. Tell us about the Ebony Bowl that's put on by the Kappas and Robert Mays.
Okay. How it got started, I was in Oklahoma City, and they had started this bowl, the Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity over there,
Okay.
but they went into the black churches with it. And I always felt, well, you know what, that's not far enough. You know, I wasn't coming to Tulsa and started just in the black churches. I felt I needed to go into the schools because they were not teaching any kind of black history in the schools.
Right.
And perhaps we can change some attitudes in Tulsa about black people and their copying what they've done. Maybe we can give some self-esteem from our black kids about the kinds of things black folks have done over the years. So this is how this got started. And I came out to the district and talked with the superintendent, and he said, yes, that sounds good to me. And as you notice on our teams, it's not just for black kids alone, it's for whites also.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're so downplayed by our media now with the drugs and everything else. I felt they need to know some good things about what we have done also. All races need to know what black people have done because it's just not publicized. They don't teach the black history in the schools anywhere now, and it should be in all schools about the kinds of things blacks have done in this country to make it great. And a lot of people don't know that the black folks, the stop sign, for instance, the stop light, black man's responsible for.
You're in Oklahoma, and they're talking about Oklahoma history now, the 100 years. Have we seen that yet? But I'd also like to say, he said black and white kids are on the team. Not only are black and white kids on the team, there are Native American
Oh, yes.
youngsters on the team. There are also Asian Americans on the team. So I think that needs to be said.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, we don't discriminate who's on the team. Anybody wants to be on the team to study black history, we want them to. And then I give them 1,000 questions, and they have a short time to study. They don't have a long time. I do not give the questions until after the Christmas break, because I know if I gave them before, the teachers have them studied over, and I want the kids to enjoy their Christmas. So I give them to them as soon as they return off the break. They receive their books with questions to study. And then second week in February, we have the bowl every year. This is our 14th year of having this bowl. And I'm very proud. It's been very successful each year. And we have people in the community that have volunteered. Without them, we could not have this bowl. Okay. And I want to say thanks to them for volunteering. I have to also give a special thanks to two other people who's on our committee. And that's Mr. LeVar Johnson and his wife, Katie Johnson. Now, Katie is our little generalist, you know. She runs everything. But she is marvelous to have to work with.
Okay.
And I just love her to death. Okay, Leon?
Mm-hmm.
Now, go ahead, Ms. Mays.
This is great. The way I understand it is that the kids learn something about history, the people in the audience learn something about history, and the people that have to put the history together, the whole 1,000 questions together, they learn things about history.
Absolutely.
And of course, we have it on our show every year, our TV show every year, so we're learning about history.
Right.
And then we're not teaching it, but we're passing it on to our audience. They're learning about history. So from one small idea or large ideas come from. And I think that's pretty amazing right there. I was noticing when we were videotaping this, some of the adults in the audience were looking in amazement because they thought, wow, I didn't know that. Oh, I didn't know that. And then even after the program, some of the adults said, I learned because I didn't know this. You know, I had no idea. It's really amazing what you do. We are going to broadcast the Ebony Bowl in about 60 different cities. And about, I think, somewhere in the area of about maybe 12 different counties. And we're going to probably reach an audience of about 500,000 people.
Oh, man.
And
I
so,
didn't know that.
but I'm just hoping that
Shout out to you for that.
we will see you shortly.